Good afternoon from the National Weather Service office in Gaylord. Welcome to the latest hazardous weather briefing for eastern upper and northern lower Michigan. Today is Wednesday, April 10th, 2013. And we continue to see impacts from our very slow-moving storm system, which has already brought one round of winter precipitation to the region earlier this morning, and we'll see another couple more rounds develop later on tonight and continue right after the day on Thursday and Thursday night before things begin to taper off a little bit on Friday. We'll continue to see the threat for some snow, sleet, and freezing rain that will move in later tonight into parts of northern lower Michigan, and that will continue to impact the lower peninsula during the day on Thursday. And then we'll see precipitation work its way into eastern upper Michigan Thursday night into the first part of Friday, which will come in the form of snowfall, and there could be several inches of snowfall by Friday morning up there, some heavy wet snowfall. Gale force winds also expected on the Great Lakes, and there's also the threat for some flooding, mainly along and south of the M72 corridor in northern lower Michigan, where they've already picked up anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain since Monday, and they could pick up another inch to an inch and a half by Thursday afternoon, so there may be some flooding of low-lying areas. Here's a look at the current weather map, and we see a stationary frontal boundary that extends across the Ohio Valley and then drops back to the south across the middle and lower Mississippi Valley down into southern Texas. And that front's been there the past couple of days, and with a very sharp temperature contrast across it, with temperatures to the north of the front in the 30s and 40s, while south of the boundary, temperatures are in the 80s and even in the 90s in some areas. So quite a clash of air masses going on there. And that's setting the stage for quite a bit of precipitation we see lined up along this frontal boundary, all the way from Texas north and northeast into the upper Great Lakes region. That will continue through the day on Thursday as low pressure begins to work its way along that front and into the lower Great Lakes region. There'll be quite a bit of precipitation going on during the day on Thursday, mainly in the form of some freezing rain and sleet and snow to start. And then we should see a transition over to a little bit more in the way of rain during the day on Thursday across northern lower Michigan. Although it's possibly some interior locations could continue to see some freezing rain and icing conditions throughout much of the day, so something we'll have to keep an eye on. Looks like the eastern UP will remain dry until we get to Thursday night, and then snow will begin to move in from the south. And again, we could see some decent accumulations up there by Friday morning. Precipitation will probably taper off during the day on Friday as some dry air moves in the mid-levels. And then maybe see some snow shower activity by Friday night and into the day on Saturday. But the bulk of the precipitation, at least the significant stuff, will be coming over the next 36 hours or so before things begin to wind down. Here's a look at the 3-day precipitation total forecast. This is liquid equivalent precipitation through Saturday afternoon. We continue to see the heaviest precipitation expected to focus across southern lower Michigan, where they could pick up another 1 to 2 inches or more of liquid precipitation. Amounts do taper off farther to the north, but there's still a decent amount of liquid precipitation, maybe up towards an inch, even as you get into parts of the UP. The way this will break down by precip type, at least our best guess at this point, there's still a lot of things that can change given the rather tight thermal structure to this system. But the heavy snowfall does appear to be across far northern lower Michigan and the upper peninsula Thursday night through Friday night, and we see on this map here anywhere from 6 to 8 inches is possible across the eastern UP and possibly the tip of the Mitt, and snow amounts kind of taper off as you get farther south into northern lower Michigan. And again, I mentioned the threat of freezing rain earlier. This will be especially tonight through Thursday. And we see the probability of freezing rain here greatest, again, along and south of the M72 corridor here, where there could be a fair bit of icing develops later on tonight depending on how cold surface temperatures get. And here's the probability of at least a 1/4 inch of ice accumulation. And again, that targets areas south of M72 down into central lower Michigan, which will see the greatest threat for some significant ice accumulation later on tonight and into the day on Thursday. So again, we continue to see a wide range of precipitation types, and this will continue we'll have to continue to adjust our expectations as the system develops. When you have a very strong thermal contrast like we do across a frontal boundary, there's likely to be quite a number of surprises in terms of exactly what precipitation type you get at any given moment. So just keep an eye on the radar and your local forecast for the latest information on this event. So again, the hazards will be the wintry mix of precipitation expected through Thursday night. Eastern UP will pretty much miss out on the bulk of this until we get into Thursday evening when snow will move in from the south, and again we could see some decent accumulations up there. Other areas north of lower Michigan will continue to see potential for some icy driving conditions later on tonight and Thursday, and continued heavy rainfall possibilities across central lower Michigan will increase the threat for flooding through tomorrow evening. That concludes this hazardous weather briefing for this afternoon. Thank you for listening in. The next update can be expected around 5 a.m. Thursday morning.